Hello folks, so I'm going to have a go at this one now, which is quite appropriate for this time of year. Some nice techniques, nice colours as well, and a couple of figures, which is always a challenge, but I think it helps that they've got big winter jackets on and whatever, so the shapes are a lot simpler, and yeah, should be a good one for us to have a go at. As far as drawing goes, so I've done a drawing already on this one. Um, with regard to the background, I would just basic shapes. We're not drawing trees as such, we're drawing the shapes of where they are and where they fit into the painting. Direction lines, so there's lots of lines in this painting which sort of lead your eye to the figures, which is obviously the centre of interest with this one. And with regard to drawing the figures, it's more about gesture, so where are the legs and the posture and how they're standing, and the dog as well. So we'll have a go at that one. I'm going to do a wash to cover the whole scene. It's a white, but it's not white. It's blue and warm colours as well. For the blue, I'm using a cobalt blue. I think the first thing to do, if I work down to that level there with wet. So I'm going to get a brush full of water there just to help the paint float. Just whack that on. Painting through everything, so I'm not painting around the tree or anything like that. I just leave that there, nice and wet. And at the moment I've got the board at a tilt, slight angle. So I'm gonna, for this bit, I'm just gonna move it down and just leave it flat because I want the blue to just do its magic when it hits the paper. So that's soaking in, nice. While that's doing that, if we get a puddle made of the cobalt blue, just test that. So paint straight across the top there to about there, and then I'm gonna leave some gaps and just see what happens with that paint. I just change the brush, so something clean. I'm going to put some warm colours there, so we get crimson, alizarin crimson it is, and some yellow ochre, make up a warm colour. Just float that in, just push it about. Sort that out. Quite a lot of water collecting there, so that's going to possibly create a problem running back up. So I've just soaked that up. Same with that bit there, just soak that up. And then I'm going to tilt the board a bit now and see what happens. Hopefully we can get that running. Good. That's looking all right, that. Again, a bit of housekeeping. Just soak that bit up there with a dry brush. I'm going to paint over that with the trees, so that's okay. So back to the blue brush now, the big one. I'm just going to leave a white line there, just short of that. Just paint that like that. Leave that. bit more warm colour. So even though this is the land, bring that warm colour down. And into the blue, I'm going to put a little bit of the crimson, so just changing it a little bit so that it's a bit warmer. Brings it towards us a bit. Don't want to mess too much. Maybe just soften that off. And that edge as well, just blend that a bit. There we go, that's okay, that for the first part. What I might do, so that's the warm colour there, just to again bring it forward to us. So I think before we do anything else with that, we need that to dry. So you can either dry it with your hairdryer, just blast it with that, or if you're very patient, just wait and let it dry, and then we can start adding layers on top of that. So I'll just pause while that happens, and then we'll carry on with the rest of it. Okay, so part two, we'll start developing the landscape a bit more now. I'm going to start with the part that's in the distance. So we've got a row of trees that's really quite a long way away. So starting with the cobalt blue, and to change it to a blue-grey, I'm just going to add some of the burnt sienna. We've not mentioned that colour yet, but so that's like a rusty colour. And if you mix that with the cobalt, you get like a blue-grey colour. Don't want it too strong. I'm going to use, so I'm using this brush, which is a number 8 round brush. I'm just going to just have a look what that looks like when I do that. So just trying to, with the different types of strokes, just trying to describe trees in the distance there. Let's put a tiny bit of red in it, so the crimson we used earlier. That'll do. Painted straight through the tree. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could just take that out so that we've got more of a cleaner colour when we paint the tree on there. Then we're coming forward, so we've got this big group of trees there. I want that a bit warmer than that. So to achieve that, if I add some more brown to the blue, you get a warmer grey then. So it's that sort of skipping stroke. So you're using the texture of your paper there to try and imagine the trees, and then we can see some of the trunks in this woodland, so do that. Don't want to go too fussy with that. Now we've got a stronger shape in front of that, which is trees that are closer. Just going to leave that to dry so I can get a clean edge and overlay it. Just bring that little woodland down a bit. So edge of a field, we've got a fence or a gate there, and another little, where are we, burnt sienna? So they're quite impressionistic marks, these. We're not doing anything in detail, it's just lots of different types of marks to describe things. Just going, like I say, I'm going to leave that for now. Concentrate on this bit of edge of a field, so there's more bushes and fence posts here. I'm going to go a bit warmer, so starting with yellow ochre now, so we've gone to a really yellowy, and some of the burnt sienna in it. I'm just going to, again, alternate it, so I've gone into the blue and got some of the grey. And then while that's like that, you can make up a really strong colour and just see if you can get some of the fencing in. So that's the blue and the brown to make that dark colour. Just clean the brush off, just get some clean yellow ochre. There we go, that looks good, I like that. At the top. And then to anchor it down, if you get the grey colour that you've made, and it just gives weight to it. Just dab that mark off. Too close to the figures, I think, too much of a warm colour. I'm going to go back to that bit now. So similar colour but a bit stronger. So plenty blue, plenty of the burnt sienna in there. See what happens when that goes on. I think it's sort of a time when sometimes you just need to just reflect what you're doing and just see if you need to do any more to that. I think that's okay for that bit. Probably make this a bit darker because of that. So just dropping in while it's wet some of the dark blue colour. That's alright, that can be left. And then moving in from there, so we've got another wedge of trees there. Just thinking about where they are in the perspective of the painting. So how strong and how warm we need this to be. So I'm going to make a warm grey again, so the brown plus the cobalt. A bit stronger than that. That's way too strong, so if I just push that with a watery brush. Good, I like that. And then some more trees, so I'm thinking quite yellowy, yellow ochre there. So let that to dry a minute. And then just some clean blue. Trying to make an embankment there of snow. A bit warmer there, so I added some red. Soak that up. So looking at the tree now, I'm going to change brush, so something that's a number 10, I think that is. Quite an old one, no point on it, but it's good for doing the main trunk of this tree. And colours for that, so I've got burnt sienna. Just going to put some hooker's green in it. So that changes the green and it becomes a nice olive colour. And if I just sort of squash that on and just lift, I'm going to change the colour as it goes up as well. So some more green in. So that'll do as the main branch, so the main trunk. So changing back to the number 8 brush there. Just get the main branches in and then stop there. And then with a rigger brush, so that very long thin brush that you've got, squashing on, lift, flick, squashing on, lift, flick. Really relaxing thing to do. There we go. And there's some that do go at quite odd angles when you look at autumn or winter trees. They don't all go in the same direction. I'm just referencing the painting now, and I think that's probably enough. I don't want to do too much. The only thing with the tree now is sort of creating some shadow on it. So with the blue, make that one a bit thicker there. And then some of these fence posts in it. Bring that down. There we go. So that'll do. I think that'll do for the landscape bit. I'll do those figures in a separate video, but that's quite good actually for where we're up to in the landscape, and we can really focus on the figures in the next one.